Hello, everybody. This is Dave Sherwin and Lisa G. Today we're talking about dirty intermittent fasting. Lisa, this is your idea and a great topic. I love it.
I love it too because everybody thinks you have to suffer to fasting, and I can't do that, and only get low blood sugar, and my hormones are going to crash. But
Hmm.
suffering is not necessary to do fasting.
Yeah, perfect. Especially intermittent fasting. I'm not into long-term fasting. I know I maybe should be. I've tried it a few times. To be honest, it usually backfires on me. I did the Prolon. I think there was a 3-day thing.
Right,
And
right.
I didn't like it. I didn't feel good when I exercised. I found myself wanting to binge on junk. Like it just
Yeah,
threw me off. I just like the 24-hour cycle of just eating in an 8-hour window every day and not eating other than the things we're going to talk about today. And I feel like I'm in great health. It does well for me. I don't feel like I need
me
to do
too.
longer fasts. You don't do the
16
longer
days.
fasts either?
I've tried it. I mean, of course, you're going to lose weight on any of those um, diets where you feel like you're suffering, where you can only have 800 calories and they'll work. And the goal is to bring your set points down. But as you just mentioned, then you want to eat junk and it backfires. So I think it's not necessary to suffer. And 16-8 protocol is what I do. But sometimes it might be 15 or 17. I'm not that strict or rigid about it. Intermittent fasting, the
Yeah.
thing about intermittent fasting is it's intermittent. Don't beat yourself up if you don't hit a certain window. Just do your best.
Okay, and so why don't you start? What
Sure.
what foods or drinks do you have during your fasted window?
Well, thanks for that question, Dave, because I really don't do a clean fast. I love the idea of a dirty fast. When I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is I'll make all of my water that I want to front load in the morning before my first meal. So I'll lay out half of my body weight in ounces of water. I'll sometimes put BCAAs and other supplements. Of course, I take the Diarobe supplements during
Love
my
it.
fasting
Of
window because
course, that's
they're so
critical.
awesome. And so I'll have some calories. I'll have calories in my coffee. I'll make a bulletproof coffee, which is simply the either MCT oil or coconut oil, which is MCT oil is a derivative of coconut oil, or and any kind of oil is not going to break your fast. So I do
Yeah.
have calories before my first meal. That's my start is putting supplements in my coffee, having supplements and putting fat in my coffee.
Okay, and let's talk about that because you mentioned supplements and you mentioned fat. Well, a lot of people know that vitamins, some vitamins are fat soluble. And what that means is if they're taken without fat, they're not going to work. The body just doesn't know how to use them. Now, for me, what I do is I take a omega product with my supplements. This is one that
Right.
we resell on our website because I prefer the plant-based to fish-based omegas. For those of you
Awesome.
listening, either way works. So if you've got a bunch of, Costco Omegas or something like that, wonderful, use them. I prefer this one. I do think it's better, and that's a different discussion for another day. But the main thing is some oil
Right.
with your supplements. So for example, Mimi's Miracle Mineral, Mimi's Miracle Multi, sorry, will do better for you if you take it with fats of any kind, whether it's the MCT oil like Lisa talked about in Bulletproof Coffee, or taking an omega oil or whatever the case might be. I also take minerals, the Mimi's Miracle Minerals. So the Mimi's Miracle Minerals and Multi are the primary supplements we recommend everybody take first thing in the
Yeah.
morning with some sort of fat. Now, you like the Bulletproof Coffee thing. A lot of people love coffee in the morning. I'm not a coffee guy, and I use a nootropic or a natural energy drink to kind of get myself going in the morning. I like this Focus Up product.
Wow. What is
Um,
focus up? I need that. Focus.
Focus Up is a wonderful product from a company called Zuma Worldwide. I've been taking it for, I think, 15 years, and I've tried others, and I always come back to it. It's a natural. It has no colors or unnatural flavors or anything, and it has mental stimulants. And so I get my most important work done first thing in the morning. And
Right.
so I like that kind of lift. I do metabolize caffeine well. Some people don't. There's only 80 milligrams in this one, so it's not a huge kick in the butt. This is a new one that I found that I have also liked. Let's see if you guys can see that. It's called Neuro Boost. Like I mentioned, I've tried others over the years, and this is the first one I found that I'm actually going to start taking this. We're actually going to add this to the store, Lisa. I've
Oh,
liked
that's
it
so
so much.
cool.
Yeah, I gave it to 4 or 5 other people. I bought samples. It came in 2 types, one that's sweetened with sucralose and one that's sweetened with stevia.
Yeah.
We ended up liking the stevia one. Anyways, again, I don't want to go too much into it, but it's a little bit of a product announcement. This is a nootropic and energy drink. So you wouldn't do both. you wouldn't. So these are 2 different things. I like pick one, and
Right.
they each make me
And
feel a little bit different. So I'm
do you want to
experimenting with them.
explain for the audience what nootropic is in case that's like a new concept for them?
Yeah, and I had Eric Levi on my podcast a few months ago too. So if you look at the Dirobi Health podcast and the episode with Eric Levi, he's an expert on nootropics. But
Yeah.
basically, essentially, nootropics stimulate brain activity of some
Right.
sort, and so it's really a cool area. And it's basically, to my mind, like I said, I'm not so much of a coffee drinker, but I like caffeine and I like natural energy. And I like things that make me feel a little bit sharper, which is what nootropics do. I just feel like I get more done. I feel more effective when I
Right.
take a nootropic. Yeah. What
I
do you
think
have to say about them,
Well, what
Lisa?
I do, for my coffee, in case anyone is a coffee drinker, is I do like a traditional bulletproof coffee, but I just make my own mix. So I'll just
Okay.
put in the MCT oil, cinnamon, and stevia and blend it.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah. And
that's what
cinnamon.
I like. But nootropics are good. L-theanine is also another um,
Yeah.
thing that helps me focus too.
Okay. I love it. Along those lines, this is another kind of semi-product announcement. One of the things I take, let's see if I got it here. I take greens powders.
Yes.
And this is one that I just started, and I'm really liking this one too. And it actually also has nootropics. And the other thing is, how we're supposed to eat the rainbow, like in greens and green powders.
Yeah,
You
but
want,
we never really do we?
yeah. And this one has a lot of more colorful. You see the image there.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
all the rainbow of, like, berries and stuff like that, fruits.
Yeah, like most of them, when you read the ingredients, it's like alfalfa and wheatgrass and the regular kind of greens that are in greens powders. So I've been really liking this one because it has more. It's called greens and reds.
Does it
So
taste good?
it does taste good. And interestingly, speaking of taste, I mix it with psyllium.
Yeah,
Okay.
so important for your digestion, the fiber.
Yeah, so I put a teaspoon of that, and I also do salt. Do you do salt when you're in a fasted state, Lisa?
I feel like I get enough salt in my diet, so I don't add it, but I know a lot of people do.
I do. I just add a teaspoon. And so when you asked about flavor, mine becomes kind of messed up because I'll do the greens drink and I'll mix in the salt, and sometimes I'll also mix in exogenous ketones.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm 100% sold, but I feel like, you wake up in the morning in a fasted state, your body is using ketones for energy, which is fantastic. And I feel like the exogenous ketones just pour some gas on that fire.
Right.
But the science is not super clear. So I'm not going to plant my flag in the ground and say that I can guarantee it improves your fast or anything like that. To be honest, Lisa, some of these things, I like them just because they're not water. Like I get sick of
Yeah,
just drinking water. And so I like that some of these drinks I've shown you are also flavored. And so they not only have the
you don't
benefits you talked
suffer, like,
about.
we don't want you guys to feel like you have to suffer. And for the exogenous ketones, if anyone doesn't understand, it's just meant to keep you in ketosis, which is your fat burning state, right?
Yeah. And what do you think about the exogenous ketones, Lisa?
I've tried them before. The ones that I have tried, I tend to over caffeinate and get a little on the anxious side. So I only tried ones that made me feel a little bit too amped up. So I'm always down to try something that's a little more not too hyper for me.
Yeah. So again, I'm not sold. I think the things that I think are really important to take in a fasted state are your supplements. One of the reasons, you guys, that I recommend taking your supplements in your fasted state is because of the way they work. Let me give you an example. So many people take turmeric. If you're getting older and you've got joint pain, you probably know why, people take turmeric as they get older. Well, turmeric has an active ingredient called curcuminoids. And
Yes.
curcuminoids work best when they're in your bloodstream. They reach a maximum after about 3 hours of ingestion, but then they tail off down to 12 hours later. If we measure the curcuminoid level in your blood, it's going to be much, much lower. And so
Yeah.
what you want to be doing is taking them morning and night on a roughly 12-hour increment. Okay. So if you wait till noon to eat your first meal and take your supplements with your first meal, and then you take any other supplements with dinner, that's only 6 hours. And so you're going to run out of those curcuminoids well before you take more, if that makes sense. So any supplement that says to take twice a day, that's often the case. And so if you get up first thing in the morning, you're in a fasted state, do your bulletproof coffee or whatever drink you're going to make, and take all your supplements, and make sure you got a little oil with it to help digest it. And that'll just ensure you have all that goodness working in your system for the whole 24-hour cycle.
And the goal is to not feel hungry. So occasionally when you're doing the intermittent fasting, you do get hungry in the morning. So the more you can drink a lot of liquids, flavored liquids, just distract yourself, stay busy, eat that frog, do your most important work in the morning, Brian Tracy. And I would just say suffering isn't necessary. So just stay hydrated, drink as much as you possibly can, add some flavor to it, add some fat, add your supplements. Another product that I've tried from Prolon also too is the fast bars. So I've been taking those too. They have a bar that doesn't take you out of a fasted state. So I have the fast bars too.
I love it. And speaking of Prolon, for those of you who are thinking you guys are crazy, you can't cheat on fasting. Well, the people who make Prolon are at the USC Center that is studying fasting, and Victor Longo, the doctor down there, is considered by many people the world's leading expert on fasting. And he coined a frame called fasting mimicking diet, the fasting
Yeah.
mimicking diet. And so for those of you that do not know Victor Longo or his work, just trust us on this, that he has done lots of research to back up everything that Lisa and I are saying. There are certain foods you can eat, including this bar that he makes. His company is Prolon. And by the way, even that, and Lisa, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Did you know it's a nonprofit organization? All their profits, any money they would make on their products goes back into the research to help make the
I
world
did not
healthier through
know that.
fasting.
I did not know
Yeah.
that, but I do like their research. I don't know if it's Walter Longo or Victor Longo, but I mean, the intermittent nutritional fasting, there's been a lot of research on that. And also, there's diets where you do one low calorie day a week to get you into that fast mimicking diet, which is the intermittent nutritional fasting, where you have one cleanse day, let's say like maybe 1,200 calories, and then other days you're not eating the same amount of calories every day, and that shocks your body. So there's a lot of different ways to lose weight, and the most cutting edge ways are the ways that you and I are all about. And to me, intermittent fasting and intermittent nutritional fasting are the way to go for health, longevity, weight loss. And even Dave Asprey, who's another father of fasting in weight loss and just for health, doesn't believe in suffering while you're doing your fast.
Right. I love that. And a really important point. And for me, I just know that if if I get starving, bad things happen.
Right.
That's
You
when I'm going
get
to be at my
hangry,
weakest to make bad decisions when I go in the kitchen.
cravings. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this and that you got some ideas here on the supplements to take, some drink ideas. Lisa, anything you want to add before we wrap things up here?
Yes, just try to reframe your mindset around fasting and don't make it this thing that's so hard. There's so many people out there that are, it's backed by science. There was a Nobel Prize on fasting. Dr. Ashumi from Japan in 2016 won the Nobel Prize on fasting. There's plenty of research out there that this is a longevity hack. It's a health hack. It's a weight loss hack. It's just, what happens is you put your body in this, some people will say autophagy or autophagy, where you're getting a cellular regeneration of just getting rid of the bad cells and just being healthier. So try to reframe your mindset of I can't, it's too hard, to I can, and here's how.
I love it. It really is a superpower, you guys. It's a health superpower. It doesn't cost a dime. As a matter of fact, studies have shown that people who do intermittent fasting eat about 20% less, which is part of the problem in our society. We eat too much food. And so, of course, 20% less food means 20% less budget. So you're actually saving money, having better health. There's really no downside. Give it a shot. And also learn about Lisa and my program, the Skinny Jeans Club, at dirobi.com. Just go to dirobi.com, dirobi.com. Click on the Skinny Jeans Club to learn how we're helping people every week to reach their health goals. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.